Good morning everyone, welcome back to episode 5 of everything you need to know when moving to Dubai. For anyone new here, hi, I'm Katie and I moved to Dubai in September 2021 and I have been uploading these videos almost like a series. It's been a real account of everything that I've learned since moving here, and it's the things that I really want to pass on to people who are also considering moving, because I have been through it. And I honestly did try and do my own research, and there were so many videos out there about why you should move to Dubai, but I didn't really know how you lived in Dubai, and that is what I want to give to you guys, a real good understanding of life here, things you can do, things you can't do, the changes in Dubai. There's always changes, so I really want to keep everyone up to date with what is going on. And I know that so many people are considering moving to Dubai. Obviously it's a tax-free country that is very attractive to a lot of people. There's so much opportunity here and there's room for everyone. So if you've landed up on this video, then I hope you find it helpful, and let's get into it. I am going to start off this video with probably my most asked question, or my most asked scenario, which is basically when someone has decided that they want to move to Dubai but they don't have a job lined up. There is like 1,000,001 questions that you will have, and that is everything from where should I stay, how do I get a job, once I get a job how quickly will my visa be processed, all of those questions. So I'm just going to start off from the very beginning. So let's start with visa. So Dubai is very welcoming, to be fair. In the country is very, very good in the fact that the majority of passport holders are able to get a visa on arrival. So that means you don't have to apply for a visa and pay for one in advance. It's just you get it when you land into Dubai. And to check if you are eligible for a visa on arrival, you can go onto a website called visitdubai.com. I'll link it in the description below. You can just choose from a drop-down menu your citizenship, and it will tell you what type of visa you need and how you apply for it. If you're not someone who is eligible for a visa on arrival, then you have to get hold of a tourist visa in advance of landing into Dubai. And to get hold of your tourist visa, you can usually do that via airlines, you can do that through travel agencies, you can do it through the accommodation that you've booked in Dubai. So just work out first of all whether you're eligible for a visa on arrival, and if not, then you definitely need to get hold of a tourist visa. Okay, so then we moved into the next bit. So you now have a visa, whether it's a visa on arrival or a tourist visa. The length of visas is so varied. They start from 14 days, and some visas go all the way through to 6 months, like 180 days. So it really does depend on so many factors. It really depends on where you're from, the passport you hold. But for anyone who is British, because I know a lot of my following on these videos in particular are from the UK, you'll get given a 30-day visa on arrival, and you also get a 10-day grace period. So that basically is 30 days as a visa, and then you get 10 days to leave the country. So all in all, you get 40 days. There was discussion at the end of last year that that might be extended into 60 days, but that never actually came to any fruition. So the current rules right now on today's upload is that you get 30 days plus 10. So you've got your visa. The next thing you need to do is to secure accommodation. The only accommodation that will be applicable to you on a tourist/visit visa is either hotels, Airbnbs, or obviously if you've got friends and family out here, then you can stay with them. But there won't be any long-term contracts that you can take out on a tourist or visit visa. I knew that I would be living in downtown Dubai because my sister lives here, but if I didn't have any reason to live in a specific place in Dubai, and I was in that exploring phase of moving out, trying to get a job, not sure where to live, I would personally book a week in downtown. I'd book a week in the marina. I would book a week in a villa community, and I would just sort of like spend that beginning phase just kind of like looking around and working out where I want to live. That might not work for everyone, because if you're someone who just needs to get here, find a job, get out there, then you probably would benefit from just having one base. But if you're completely brand new to Dubai and time is on your side, then I would do that. I would like look at all the different areas, because you'll soon get a vibe for where you would want to live and where you wouldn't want to live. And it all depends on lifestyle, whether you care for being closer to the water, whether you care for being closer to dog parks, for example. So yeah, I think if I was to do it again, and I was quite lucky because I did have a lot of time on my side when I first moved out here, I would have just booked like lots of different Airbnbs and worked it out that way. So that's your accommodation, whether you're bopping around or you're in the same place. The next thing you'll need to do, sorry, this lighting's all over the place. The sun is really trying. She's trying. But yeah, the next thing you'll need to do is arrange your residency. And there's a couple of ways to do it. I've mentioned in previous videos, you can either be sponsored by your husband, by your wife, you can open up your own business. But the most common option in terms of securing residency here is doing it via your employment. So when you are successful in getting a job out here, they will arrange your residency, which is a visa and also an Emirates ID. And there are so many questions around the process of visas and Emirates IDs, and I've actually gone through it very recently, so I can talk you through my experience of getting offered a job through to having my Emirates ID, and I think that will clear up so many questions for people. So let's do that. So I got offered my job, and the first thing that they needed from me was a picture of my passport. Side note, if you're someone from the UK, just be prepared that everyone will ask for a copy of your passport, and it's just thrown around out here. Like in the UK, everyone's very, very protective of their passport, of their sort of like personal identity documents because of fraud and whatnot. But honestly, out here, you will be asked to give it for everything, literally for everything. And you just get used to it. Like, I forgot actually how weird it is in the UK for someone to ask for a picture of your passport. They needed a picture of my passport so that they could change the status of my visa. I don't quite know the correct terminology, but I know that they changed the status to say that my visa, my employment visa, was in process. From everything that I've read, everything that I've researched, and my personal experience, I understand that, and the reason I'm saying it like that is because I don't want this to be taken as 100% fact, but this is what I am like 99% sure happens. Your visa change of status happens, and then your employer has 60 days to change your visa to a residency visa, which is really good because that is plenty of time to get all of the things done that you need to in order to get your residency visa. So change of status happens. The next thing is that you need to go for a medical test. And my personal experience of that was that my employer booked it. They told me where to go. There wasn't a booked time. It's just I had to go to this medical center, and there is hundreds of them across Dubai. Your employer will guide you on where you should go. I'll pop the things that they look out for on the screen. So I had an x-ray and I also had some blood taken. You don't actually get your medical test results just there and then. You do have a bit of a waiting period, but in the meantime, whilst you're waiting for that, you can go and have your biometrics taken. So that is having a copy of your fingerprints put into a system. So you'll do that on a separate day. Usually you won't do that on the same day as your medical, and you'll go to another center. But this time you're booked in at a certain time on a certain day. And all of these places you should definitely dress modestly. The people that are working in these buildings are locals, and you know, you will most definitely either be asked to leave or cover up if you turn up in like something completely inappropriate. When I say modestly, that would mean like covering your shoulders, covering your knees. So usually to things like this, I would wear a pair of leggings and a big baggy t-shirt and some flip-flops, and that's absolutely fine. Once you've had your medical test done and the results are all okay, and you've also had your biometrics done, the next thing would be your work permit is processed. So that means that you are well on your way to getting your residency. The step after that is that your employer will apply for your medical insurance. Once you have got your insurance, then you are ready to have your visa stamped in your passport. There is some kind of thing going on in the grapevine that eventually people will stop having visas actually printed in their passport, and it will all be connected to your Emirates ID. But for the minute, people are definitely still getting their visas printed and put in their passports. So that might change soon. But then the last and final step is that once you have got all of those things, your visa, your medical test is done, your biometrics and your insurance, only at that point will you get your Emirates ID. And your Emirates ID is the golden thing. It is the thing that is going to help you get through everything out here in life. It is something that actually legally you have to have on you 24/7. I mean, I think if you were out running and you accidentally forgot it, you know, that's fine. But like on the whole, whole, you should always have it on you. Once you've got your Emirates ID, you can completely and utterly relax and you are good to go. You are a resident in Dubai. Well done, you did it. I just got so excited about everyone moving that I've had to take my cardigan off. I'm literally getting so hot sat in the sunshine. Cool, so now you've got your visa and your Emirates ID, and that is where things really start heating up, okay? You can now apply for a bank account. You might remember from a previous video, I spoke about getting hold of a bank account that also comes with a checkbook facility, and a very popular bank that I use, a lot of other people I know use, is Emirates MBD, and as standard it comes with the checkbook facility. And the reason for that is because Dubai, as much as it is so far into the future, it's also got some practices that are quite old, and checks are definitely still massively valued in this country, and typically you will be paying for your rent via check. However, again, brand new update, fresh off the press, there has been an announcement that soon you will be able to pay for your rent via direct debit, which is just like really funny that that's like a thing because it's so common back at home. But yeah, that is what the plan is going forward. So I would say for anyone who is still considering moving to Dubai here and now in the next couple of months, definitely still apply for a bank account that has got a check facility, because I don't know, honestly speaking, when that direct debit will be rolled out for the bank. You can apply online, but you will need to have copies of your Emirates ID front and back. You need to have a copy of your visa. They are all really good things just to have pictures of in your camera roll, saved as a favorite, because you're going to need to just send them out to everyone, especially during your first couple of months living here. Also, in order to apply for your bank account, you will need a salary certificate given to you by your employer, and that is just a kind of standard letter on a letterhead saying this is how much money you're going to be getting every month. So then once you've got your Emirates ID and you've got a bank account, you are ready to take on a long-term rental. It will save you so much money in the long run rather than choosing to stay in hotel apartments or Airbnbs. But I have literally talked through the entire process of how you find an apartment through to actually getting the keys in my first ever moving to Dubai video, so go and check that out. The key thing that I would love everyone to take away from that video is that you should definitely go and register your Ijari. I won't even go into that on this video because I went through it in so much depth in the first video, but basically the Ijari protects you so much, and I am living proof of that. My last apartment caught on fire, and without my Ijari I would not have been looked after the way that I have been. So yeah, that is it. Once you've got your bank account, your Emirates ID, and you've got a home, you are basically a fully fledged expat. I didn't cover how you apply for a job, but again, that is all in the first ever video, so go and check that out. But if you guys want to know a bit more about my situation, I'm happy to sort of talk through that, share my feedback, how I found my job and all that kind of stuff. But we'll save that for another day. Moving on to our next topic, I am bringing you a brand new piece of law that has come into Dubai. So if you are someone who is an Emirati or a resident in Dubai and you either work for the private sector or federal government, you have to pay into an unemployment insurance scheme. So this has essentially been brought in to protect people if they were to lose their job through no fault of their own. Then you would get a payout every month for up to 3 months whilst you're looking for new employment. So I'll talk through the details just so you know exactly what this is all about. Number one is, the first thing to note is that everyone who is currently employed in either of those areas has to register for this by the 30th of June 2023. The amount that you are required to pay is dependent on how much your monthly salary is. So if you are someone who is on less than 16,000 dirhams a month, then you are required to pay 5 dirhams plus VAT into the insurance scheme on a monthly basis. And if you are someone who is on 16,000 dirhams basic salary or more, then you are required to pay 10 dirhams plus VAT into the insurance scheme. If you fail to subscribe to the service by the deadline of the 30th of June, you will have a 400 dirham fine. And also if you fail to pay for the insurance consecutively for 3 months, you will also get a fine of 200 dirhams. Okay, so how do you pay for this insurance? Well, there's several ways to pay it. You can do it directly through the insurance scheme. Again, I'll link the website below. You can also choose to pay it via your telecoms. It can come out of your internet package. You can pay for it at money exchange centers. Also, it hasn't launched yet, but you can also pay for it via SMS. but me personally, I'm just going to do it directly through the insurance company. And you can also choose to pay it monthly, quarterly, you can pay it half yearly, or you can pay it annually as well. In order to actually qualify for this insurance, you would need to be someone who has lost their job through no fault of your own, and you would also need to have been paying the insurance consecutively for 12 months minimum. You also need to submit the claim within 30 days of the termination of your contract. You also need to have proof of that termination as well. So if you are someone who has sadly lost their job and you've already paid into the insurance for 12 months, then you can claim on this insurance. And dependent on how much you paid into it will depend on how much you would get back. So say you were someone who was paying the 5 dirhams plus VAT a month, they will pay you 60% of what it is that you have been earning, up to 10,000 dirhams. And likewise, if you were paying the slightly higher premium of 10 dirhams per month plus VAT, then you could also claim up to 60% of your salary, and that is capped at 20,000 dirhams. One thing to know though is that the insurance has only 2 weeks to pay you that insurance. So if you were in that, difficult situation of losing your job, it would only be a maximum of 2 weeks by the time that you would get your money. Also, this insurance is only valid for 3 months. So you can basically claim that insurance up to 3 months consecutively. And after that point, they will stop paying out. And I guess that's to stop people like abusing the insurance scheme. It is genuinely there to help people whilst they are transitioning into another job. Next up, I wanted to talk about Ramadan, because we are actually in the month of Ramadan right now. Ramadan begins during the 9th month of the Islamic lunar calendar, and it starts when the new crescent moon can be seen for the first time. And what that means is, for a lot of people, particularly in Dubai, this obviously is a Muslim country, is that Muslims here but also worldwide are fasting from sunrise through to sunset. So I just wanted to give you guys a bit of an update as to what life is like as someone who isn't Muslim living in a Muslim country during the month of Ramadan. So I have visited Dubai during Ramadan in other years, and I have definitely noticed over the years that the Ramadan rules, I guess, have massively changed over the years. My sister moved to Dubai 10 years ago, and back then literally everything was shut in the daytime. It was a bit of a ghost town. It was very, very respected. No parties, no brunches, no nothing, It was very, you could feel that Ramadan was happening. Skip forward to about a couple of years ago, Ramadan rules had definitely eased up. You could go out for lunch, but you would be sat inside a restaurant, and there would also be curtains drawn so that potential Muslims could not see you. Just last year, I would never go out with a bottle of water or anything like that. But fast forward to today, honestly, you would not know that Ramadan is even happening. Really, every restaurant is open. People are walking on the streets with drinks. It has honestly been really, really surprising that the rules have changed so much towards it. I mean, there have been some changes, but the main changes that I guess I can sort of talk about is that the people that I speak to who work in other offices, they've been working slightly shorter hours. The gym that is within my residential building, it's open until midnight instead of 10 p.m. Schools also finish earlier. Petrol prices have also been slashed as a gift during Ramadan. Some brunches have decided to close during Ramadan, but that is out of respect rather than by law, because by law everyone can continue operating their business as usual. That is the honest update of what life is like during Ramadan out here. I mean, I am still very conscious of it. If I ever do any deliveries of anything, that I would never be doing it during the iftar time when the Muslims are breaking their fasts. I definitely dress quite modestly anyway, to be fair, but I'm very conscious when I leave the house that I've got my shoulders covered and that I, don't have loads of skin on show. But yeah, that is what life is like in Ramadan. I did have another topic, but you know what? I'm gonna save it for the next video because I've been talking for so long. But I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope that this is continuing to be useful, helpful, guiding you. And of course, if you've got any questions, drop them in the comment box below because I read everything. I will always come back to you. And if I haven't come back to you yet, it's because I'm still investigating the question and I will answer it in a future video. Also, just a little plug here. I vlog my life as an expat in Dubai. So I spend my life with my husband, our fluffy dog, my friends, my family, and if you want to see that as well, then you are more than welcome to join me on this channel. But yeah, I'll see you in my next video and take care.